Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome back to another edition of the Adam Eisen Show. It's Season 2, it's Episode 3, the preseason is all wrapped up, and we sit just 7 days from the start of the NFL regular season. It's next Thursday, September 8th, between the Buffalo Bills and the Los Angeles Rams. Before that, though, we still have more stories to cover, so without further ado, let's jump into it. Starting it off today with my team, the Green Bay Packers. I have one major thing to say here. After 3 years, 3 seasons, selecting a quarterback in the first round, trading up for him, I am not happy with Jordan Love, and no other person, Packers fan or not, should be. What I have to say here is, let's look at what Coach Matt LaFleur, the Green Bay Packers head coach, has said about Jordan Love. The good qualities he has received compliments on in the past 3 years. There is one thing: resiliency. The only thing LaFleur can talk about is, damn, that guy is so resilient. He can take controversy like a champ. And then LaFleur's always having to make excuses saying the bad stat line isn't on Jordan Love. If that was Aaron Rodgers' stat line, you best be damn sure that would be on Aaron Rodgers. The team has to believe in Jordan Love if he goes down. And in your third preseason, he shouldn't have 3 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Your only good quality can't be, oh, he handles controversy well. There are 3 things in this world that you don't have to sell me on. And people are always trying to sell you on them. There's movies, there's comedians, and there's young quarterbacks. You either got it or you don't. You don't have to convince me a movie is great. I'm going to know that within the first 15 minutes. First 10 minutes, last 10 minutes, that makes a movie. You watch it, it's either good or bad. You can't convince me a comedian is funny or not funny. You're not going to convince me that someone's funny or not to like a joke, or you're not going to change my sense of humor. And it's the same thing with young quarterbacks. You cannot convince me a quarterback is good. What is happening in Green Bay, Wisconsin is honestly kind of funny. Matt LaFleur again saying this past week, even after another bad performance against the Kansas City Chiefs, oh, I like what I saw. But Kenny Pickett, his first preseason, and if we compare him to Jordan Love, Kenny Pickett, 86.4 completion percentage to Love's 55.4. 3 touchdowns and 0 interceptions for Kenny Pickett. Remember, Jordan Love had 4 of those interceptions. And a 138.6 passer rating to Love's 63.9. That's in his first preseason. If there was a movie about Jordan Love, it would be called Resiliency. Or That Interception Wasn't His Fault. Enough trying to sell me on it, Green Bay, Matt LaFleur. You guys messed up. You made a bad pick in your first year in the office. It's okay. You've more than redeemed yourself, winning 39 games in the last 3 years, going to 2 NFC championship games. You've more than redeemed yourself. But it's time to cut your losses from Jordan Love. It's time to trade him, get him out of town before the trade deadline, get yourself a backup quarterback that the team's going to believe in. You got Jimmy Garoppolo in the NFC West, best backup quarterback in the league. Oh, what I would do to have a backup QB like him. You can never underestimate how valuable a backup quarterback is. In college, Jordan Love struggled with accuracy, and the same thing is happening now in the NFL. The more you try to convince me a movie is good, a comedian is funny, or a QB has the right talent, right stuff, the less I believe it. Transitioning, I was just talking about the San Francisco 49ers, the NFC West. I want to transition out to California with Trey Lance. Now, San Francisco this year, it's an incredibly interesting team. Their roster, in my opinion, along with the Buffalo Bills, is the best in the NFL. It is stacked, and they made even more moves this offseason and are more stacked. I love Kyle Shanahan. He's brilliant. I think he might even be above guys like Sean McVay, Matt LaFleur. Kyle Shanahan is at the top of the NFL coaching right now. He is 1A, the best you can get. Trey Lance is going to be the catalyst for the team this year. Can he do it? He hasn't played much. He's raw. We don't know, and this is one of the most talented teams we've seen. In his final preseason game, he didn't put up a good performance for us either. Didn't inspire anyone. He went 7 for 11 for 49 yards, 3 drives, no points. Guys, the media was right. The inside sources, all this stuff that we heard, they were right. He has talent. He has a big arm. Don't get me wrong. He can move. But he is raw, and he is not ready to be a starting quarterback in the National Football League. Hell, but you got to go look. Joe Burrow's first year wasn't all that pretty. It was pretty ugly. Went to the Super Bowl next year. My problem with San Francisco is right now, this year, 2022-2023 NFL season, they have a world-class roster and a world-class head coach put together, and you don't know how long those things can last. With others like Zach Wilson, he has been screwed with weapons and at head coach. Justin Fields has had no help. But with this one, with Trey Lance, he has everything in the world to make him succeed. There's no excuses for him. Put a top QB on this roster, and they are in the Super Bowl, likely winning it. They have as good or a better roster than the Rams, in my opinion. That's how serious I am about San Francisco's roster. Samuel, Ayuk, Kittle. That's just 3 monster names on the offense. Just the offense. The reports from the media and inside the organization are accurate, and the preseason games prove this. People are going to have to be patient with Trey Lance, and I worry about San Francisco wasting this year. And that's exactly why I believe they re-signed Jimmy G to the 1-year, $6.5 million up to $9 million deal. They basically said they don't have complete confidence in Trey Lance. That's what I read when I saw the contract. Trey Lance, if he starts this season 3-6, 4-6, and the team doesn't have confidence in him, they could switch to Jimmy G easily, because Jimmy G's a guy, he's gotten you to the NFC Championship game a couple minutes away from the Super Bowl, and has gotten you to the Super Bowl. In both those games, you lost to the eventual Super Bowl champion, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Rams. You cannot doubt the talent and success Jimmy G has had. He's a veteran quarterback in this league. And with as talented of a roster as you have in San Francisco, you got to prepare for the future, but you also got to look at the presence. I do think things will speed up for Trey Lance. He's young, he's coachable, he's got a big arm, just like I said. But he is raw, and it is going to be a rough first 10 weeks for the San Francisco 49ers and Trey Lance, especially in the media. Switching, I know I just brought up Justin Fields, and an interesting thought came to my mind in this past week when I was looking at all the young, under 25 quarterbacks and their position set up on their teams among the league. The Bears, right now, the Chicago Bears, they are failing Justin Fields. He, in his 3rd preseason game, absolutely lit it up, 150 yards and 3 tuds. He has no weapons, however. He lost Allen Robinson, and he lit it up in the preseason against practice squad guys. It's not like that's not going to happen in the regular NFL season. They lost Allen Robinson. They only have 1 receiver, which is Mooney. I like him, but that's all they have, and he's not a generational 1A receiver in this league. They've got a bad O-line, and it's not near the defense Chicago is used to having. Just for all you naysayers who have belief in Chicago, I know you all know what Vegas is. And I know you all know that Vegas is always right. And they set the over-under for Chicago this year at 6.5 wins. That's in a bad division. Vegas doesn't even expect much, and they are always right. Atlanta and Seattle are going to be bad this year. Don't get me wrong. But they have a plan. It's a gap year. They're rebuilding, and they'll be back and better next year. The Bears are going to be bad, and this is supposed to be a good year for them. Immediately, they need to trade Roquan Smith. No one is winning the Super Bowl anymore with a star linebacker. This isn't 20 years ago. You don't need it as much as you used to. It's just not as important to have a star linebacker and be taking up all your cap space with it when Justin Fields has no weapons on the offense. Zach Wilson and Justin Fields I worry about, but Zach Wilson, the Jets have been drafting for him. They've at least been trying. The Chargers with Herbert are doing so many things right. They're getting him weapons. They're getting a better O-line. They got Khalil Mack this offseason. They're hitting every position they can. The Bears, however, have gotten no one, while in the same division as a top 5 organization in Green Bay and Minnesota, who is going to put up 1,000,000 points and yards this year with their new offensive head coach. The Bears, they operate like a 1958 franchise. They are a black and white team in a digital world, period. They are slow to pivot, not connected, and can't manipulate the cap. The Los Angeles Rams all the time. The amount of segments I have had on this show highlighting the Rams' masterclass of offseason. If you want to look how to run an organization, you look at the Golden State Warriors and the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams, they manipulate the cap all day long. The cap, however, manipulates the Bears. Name the Bears' best wide receiver ever. Their best quarterback ever. They just don't get offense. They romanticize Ditka and the 85 Bears and defense because that's their only Super Bowl. That's the only thing they know or care about. They need to pivot to offense. Give up Roquan Smith and get Fields help. It has to happen. You finally have yourself what could be the best quarterback you've ever seen. Don't stay black and white. You gotta pivot to a digital world. It's an offensive league now. Defense is 40 years ago, and I hope the Bears get Fields the help he needs, or by the end of that rookie contract, I'd be out of town if I were him. The last team I really want to dive heavily into today are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and how they, in my opinion, are sitting just one injury away. The NFC this year, everybody, it is incredibly weak. The AFC now, it's more stacked than ever. You've got Herbert, you've got Mahomes, you've got Burrow, Lamar, Allen, Carr, Wilson. Then you got young guys like Trevor Lawrence. There's so many people. And the NFC is now left with 3 elite teams that have 3 elite quarterbacks. You could throw San Francisco in here, but we don't know how Trey Lance is going to be. You've got the Packers with Rodgers, the Rams with Stafford, and the Bucs with Brady. What I am looking at here is how easy this could be the Rams conference. The Bucs especially. They are just one injury away in any single position group from no longer being a contender. They got thinner at receiver. They got thinner everywhere on defense. And Brady is now 45 years old playing behind a decent offensive line. The Buccaneers and Packers are both one major injury away from being in trouble, while the Rams have themselves set up for success under any standard this season. I don't see them being affected by noisy offseason, the Buccaneers like many people think, with Brady being gone. I don't like how much talk Tom Brady having an 11-day hiatus was. He's 45 years old, like he said. The man needs some days off, and he's got to take care of some things. At the end of the day, it's still Tom Brady. He is the last person anyone should be worried about. And for everyone saying out there, oh, you can't trust a 45-year-old QB. He might get injured, blah, 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 blah. He has only been seriously injured once in his entire career, which was 13 years ago. And he's the goddamn GOAT. Until Brady is dethroned, he's still the king. But he and the Bucs need to watch out because injuries can dethrone Brady quick. Now, 2 last little segments I have for you guys today before our big episode next week, kicking off the regular season, week 1. 2 more segments. I've got free agent tracker and season award predictions. Free agent tracker, I just got 4 names where I think these guys are going to end up. Odell Beckham Jr., he's holding out in my opinion. He wants to see, just like he did last year, who is going to get a ring. He's already gotten his big contract, so he doesn't care as much about the money anymore. He wants another ring. My opinion, it's the best move for Odell Beckham Jr. to stay in the NFC and probably on the West Coast. He's a guy, he's best friends with LeBron James. All the stars are out west. He's going to be in somewhere like Vegas or LA or something like that. Obviously, the Bucs and the Packers are still contenders for him, but without a doubt, I see him staying in the NFC. Cole Beasley is another big name. I would love for the Green Bay Packers to go pick him up. We're already short at receiver this year with 2 of the guys, Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs, being rookies. Cole Beasley's a guy who, just like Sammy Watkins, can bring a big veteran presence into our locker room and help out a lot. Xavier Rhodes, cornerback. Now, we all know he's a bit of a noisier guy, but he is a reliable corner. He's going to end up getting picked up by one of the good teams like the Rams just to make it better, and I am not looking forward to seeing the headline. Not quite sure who he's going to end up with, but this is another guy. He wants a ring. He's chasing rings. Expect him to make a late move in this season to see what team is best, who he has the best chance to win a Super Bowl with and make a big impact. And the last free agent I've got is Eric Fisher, offensive lineman. He had a bad last season with the Colts, but that was his first bad season in his career. It could be a great pickup for a team like Chicago. I was just talking about they needed to get more offensive weapons, and if you want to start somewhere, where you start is with Eric Fisher and protecting your star quarterback in Justin Fields. Switching over to the season award predictions, I'm going to predict all the awards ahead of the NFL regular season, starting off with MVP. Everybody's going to sit back and laugh when I say this, but no one thought it was going to happen in back-to-back times. Aaron Rodgers is going back-to-back. He's winning the MVP for the 3rd year in the row this year. It's going to be the first time since Brett Favre did it back in the 90s. 2 Green Bay quarterbacks, 3-time MVPs, all in a row. It's going to be great to see. Doesn't matter that he has less receiving talent. Still got plenty of run game receiving threats, tight ends. Got threats at wide receiver. He is going to spread the ball out and lead the Green Bay Packers back to a 13-win season, which will win him another MVP. Offensive Player of the Year, I think this could go to 2 guys. I'm not sure which one. It could be Cooper Kupp. It could be Davante Adams. I'm actually going to throw a third in there too that I like more that I just thought of. Potentially Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor, last year, monster year on the receiving and rushing end. All 3 of these guys, Cooper Kupp, Davante Adams, Jonathan Taylor, are dogs and will be dueling it out all year long for the Offensive Player of the Year award. If I had to pick right now, I'd go with Jonathan Taylor, Cooper Kupp as my second, and Davante Adams as my third. Defensive Player of the Year, you all know TJ Watt. He got banged up earlier this week, right knee. His week 1 status is in question, and Myles Garrett this year is likely to be on a losing team. I don't have a lot of faith in the Browns just because they're the Browns. So I've got to go the man, the myth, the legend, the beast, Aaron Donald over in Los Angeles. He's simply built better than everybody else. Comeback Player of the Year wise, I've got to go Derrick Henry. He's a workhorse. I know he's a little bit injury prone and all that. He's a workhorse, and I don't see him getting hurt. I think Tennessee is going to be a lot more careful and not load him up on carries the first 8 weeks. They'll space him out more, which will work better. Jameis Winston is also not a bad pick. For everybody giving him hate, the first 5 weeks last year after he got eye surgery, it made a major improvement, so Jameis Winston would not be a bad pick at all. Offensive Rookie of the Year wise, I'm going Kenny Pickett. I've given so many rants about Pickett. I think he is going to be the most comfortable rookie quarterback we have ever seen. He had 3 years of experience in college, didn't have to move stadiums. I think it would be a mistake for Pittsburgh. While the Browns don't have a quarterback, the division is already going to get tough and not get even tougher next year. It would be a mistake for the Pittsburgh Steelers not to start him week 1. He'd be so comfortable, and you got to see what you have ahead of this next year's draft, where there will be 5 to 6 first-round quarterbacks selected. Kenny Pickett is going to ball. He's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Defensive Rookie of the Year, I've got to go Aiden Hutchinson. And Coach of the Year, I got to go Dan Campbell, purely because I've been inspired by the way they've acted off Hard Knocks. Aiden Hutchinson is a beast to be reckoned with. And Coach Dan Campbell, his team last year, I believe they won 3 games. And he has inspired that group of men. You could see it. They are crying together on film. They're bonding. They've gotten more weapons this offseason. Their receivers have gotten better. It's going to come down to Jared Goff, but I think Coach Dan Campbell gets them 8, 10, could get them 8 wins. I don't want to say 10, but Dan Campbell would not have to do a lot to win Coach of the Year for me after such a bad first year showing with the Detroit Lions, and then putting on the showcase he has here in Hard Knocks. It's been special to watch. Thank you all so much for tuning in to another edition of the Adam Eisen Show. The support has been unreal on the first couple episodes of Season 2, and things are only going to continue to get better. So be sure to subscribe to not miss out on any of the weekly episodes. I'll be back next Wednesday to talk to you all one more time before the regular season kicks off on Thursday, September 8th. Until then,